हंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणार विंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्योत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto entitled Creation, chapter number 9, the passing away of Bhishma Deva. Text number 2, I will read myself, and text number 3 will recite together. Tada te bhratarah sarve tadashvaihi swarnabhushitaihi anvagachan rathair vipra vyasadhaumyadayas tatha. Srila Prabhupada's translation. At that time, all his brothers followed him on beautiful chariots, drawn by first-class horses decorated with gold ornaments. With them were Vyas and rishis like Dhaumya, the learned priest of the Pandavas, and others. Text number 3. We'll recite together. Bhagavan अपि विप्रर्षे रथेन स धनंजयः स तैर्व्यरोचत नृपः कुबेर इव गुह्यकैः। भगवानपि विप्रर्षे रथेन स धनंजयः स तैर्व्यरोचत नृपः कुबेर इव गुह्यकैः। भगवानपि विप्रर्षे रथेन स धनंजयः स तैर्व्यरोचत नृपः कुबेर इव गुह्यकैः। भगवानपि विप्रर्षे रथेन स धनंजयः सतैव्यरोचतः नृपः कुबेर इव गुह्यकैः सतैर्विरोचतः नृपः माता जी भगवान विप्रर्षे Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, Api also, Viprarshe, O sage among the Brahmanas, Rathena, on the chariot, Sadhananjayaha, with Dhananjay Arjuna, Saha, he, Taihi, by them, Varochana, appeared to be highly aristocratic. Nrupaha, the king Yudhishthir, Kuvera, Kuver, the treasurer of the demigods, Iva, as Guihyakai, companions known as Guihyakas. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The translation: O sage amongst the Brahmanas, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, also followed, seated on a chariot with Arjuna. Thus, King Yudhishthir appeared very aristocratic, like Kuber surrounded by his companions, the Guhyakas. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Lord Sri Krishna wanted the Pandavas to be present before Bhishma Dev in the most aristocratic order, so that he might be pleased to see them happy at the time of his death. Kuber is the richest of all the demigods, and herein King Yudhishthir appeared like him, Kuber. For the procession along with Sri Krishna was quite appropriate to the royalty of King Yudhishthir. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamiham Dadati Swapadandigam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So here we see that the war is over, the battle of Kurukshetra, and after the victory has been achieved, the Pandavas, they want to go and meet Bhishma Dev, who is laying on the bed of arrows. He is in great pain and he is simply awaiting his death. One mysterious thing about Bhishma Dev is he has Ichha Maran. That means he can choose the time of his death. He can decide what time he wants to leave the body. And this benediction was given to him by his own father, Shantanu. When Bhishma, at that time when he was Devavrat, son of Ganga Devi, that time when he took that two great vows, he said that I will remain brahmachari for the rest of my life, and I will also become the servant of the throne of Hastinapur. That he did that just to please his father, because his father wanted to marry Satyavati, and she had the condition that if you marry me, my sons will not become the king. Actually, you already have a son from Ganga, and he is going to become the king. So that's why I cannot marry you. That was the condition of Satyavati's father. So that was the impediment between the marriage. So Bhishma Dev, his character, you see, is filled with sacrifice. And when he took that two great vows, then there was, everywhere from the skies, the demigods started shouting, Bhishma, Bhishma, Bhishma. That's how the name became Bhishma Dev, Bhishma. Because such a great vow, who can take such a great vow? Being amidst the kingdom, being in the royalty, to remain brahmachari is very difficult. Because we see brahmacharis, sannyasis, they usually have to, they mostly prefer to stay away from the society away from, materialistic association, in order to keep their vows of brahmachari life. But Bhishma Dev, he took that vow and he followed for the rest of his life. He lived many, many years, 360 something years that he spent on the earth, and he was brahmachari. So that is very, very difficult, 360 years to remain brahmachari, and surrounded by so many, beautiful women. And he was most powerful. It's not that he was very simple person. He was, not very, he did not have much aptitude. He was very powerful, because when Ganga Devi, she took Devavrat with her, she had great contacts, because Ganga Devi is from the heavenly planet. So she took her son first to Brihaspati, who is the preceptor of demigods. And Brihaspati taught him so many great lessons about how one should rule, because he was considered as the next king. So that's why Brihaspati gave him all the required knowledge for this very bright future king of Hastinapur. And then later on, Vasishtha gave him a lot of knowledge. Markandeya bestowed upon him various, historical stories and historical lessons. And then finally, Parshuram, who is considered as the best among the warriors, he killed all the Kshatriya kings 21 times all over the earth. He completely made the earth bereft of the demoniac Kshatriya kings, not once, not twice, 21 times. Such a Parshuram became the guru for the warfare of Bhishma Dev. And in the life of Bhishma Dev, there has never been any record of defeat. He was never defeated by anyone. Such a career that he had. And one time, there was some conflict, and he also fought with his own guru, Parshuram. And the fight was so fierce that Lord Shiva had to intervene, because Lord Shiva had to intervene to stop them from fighting. And nobody won. So he even, fought with his guru, and he was not defeated. The point is, he was, he had all the great qualities, and still he took these type of, brahmacharya vrat, and that's why he is called Bhishma. So that's just a background, like how inconceivable his personality is. And such a person is right now, in this, the point where we are in Bhagavatam, he is, laying on the bed of arrows, helpless, and he is only waiting for the direction of sun to change, the sun to enter Uttarayan. That is considered auspicious time to leave one's body. If you leave your body in that particular period, when the sun starts its journey to the northern hemisphere, then it is considered very auspicious. So he is waiting for that. And Krishna knows, the inner thoughts of Bhishma Dev, because Bhishma is also one of the 12 Mahajans. So that's why, he is a pure devotee. He is very advanced, and he is very dear to Lord Krishna. Krishna knows what is going to please Bhishma Dev. And Bhishma Dev, he is waiting. He also wants to see the Pandavas. Ultimately, the Pandavas have been victorious. And see, if someone is dying, if someone is about to leave the body, mostly people tend to dress very simple. Ideally, people dress as simple as possible. If someone is going to funeral, or if someone is going to a hospital, you don't go with your best of the dress. You don't, put on a tuxedo, and you don't go to see a person who is about to leave the body, right? Even in like the current scenario. But here, Krishna knows that Bhishma Dev is about to leave the body, Everyone knows, but still Krishna gives this instruction to all the Pandavas that you dress yourself the best aristocratic way possible. He also tells Draupadi to wear, to first tie her hair, because she took that vow that I will not tie my hair until the day Dushasan and Duryodhana, they are punished and killed. So she was, all these many years, 13 years in the forest, she was traveling with her hair, loose. That is considered very inauspicious for a married woman to walk with the hair loose. But she did that just to remind her husband of what I have gone through. And every day when Bhima used to watch Draupadi, that she is not tying her hair, he used to remember that incident that happened, in that assembly where Draupadi was, she was forcefully, they were trying to disrobe her. And in that assembly, Draupadi was pleading. She, very nicely she asks question to Vidura, to Bhishma, what is dharma? And how is this, whatever is happening is according to dharma? So Bhishma Dev and all the other great personalities present there, they couldn't answer the questions of Draupadi. So Draupadi was so smart that she asked perfect questions even in that assembly, making such great scholars like Bhishma, Drona, there was Vidura. Even they couldn't answer her questions. They were all helpless. That time Bhishma Dev, he says that somehow the dharma, has become in the hands of the powerful. Whoever is powerful, that and whatever the powerful says, that is being dharma. That is in Vyasa Mahabharata. That is what Bhishma Dev tells as the definition of dharma. So right now, because Duryodhana and they have all the power, they have conquered your husbands, so we cannot do much. And with the tears in his eyes, he said that because we have eaten the salt of Duryodhana, because I am staying here and I have taken these vows, I cannot help. So that, we know these all, past time, what Draupadi went through and how Krishna supplied the unlimited amount of sari, and Krishna, saved Draupadi's chastity. But all these Pandavas, they were humiliated. And then later we see that Krishna also meets Bhishma Dev. When he came as a messenger of peace, he came to Hastinapur and he meets Bhishma Dev. When he first meets Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. And he says that these Pandavas, at least give them 5 villages. That's all they need, because they are Kshatriyas, they are born to rule, and at least let them fulfill their swadharma of being rulers. So at least give them only land of 5 small villages and let them rule in their own villages, and you can live happily in your glorious flourishing kingdom. But Duryodhana said, no, do whatever you want to do, Vasudev, we don't care. Tell these Pandavas that what to speak of 5 villages, I won't give them the land that can occupy the tip of a needle. Only that much land also I'm not ready to give them. And if they want to fight, let them come. Because what kind of personalities we have. We have Bhishma Dev, we have Drona, and we have Karna. So who is going to defeat us? So let them come. What these 5 Pandavas are going to do? Only 5 Pandavas, what are you going to do? We have your Guru on our side. The very person who taught you how to lift a weapon, he is fighting from our side. What are you guys going to do? So he was so puffed up. And Dhritarashtra didn't speak anything. And Krishna was bewildered. Krishna thought, how can someone be so foolish, so arrogant, and so dumb that he is not understanding that I am on the side of Pandavas. But Duryodhan, he had a calculation. He is like a modern day, so-called manager. He had all that calculation. He thought, we have Bhishma there, undefeated, never ever defeated that Bhishma we have. We have Dronacharya, the guru who taught everyone. We have Karna. Karna in those days, he also went on, he went all over the earth defeating all types of kings. So he was also undefeated. So he had all the material calculation and he thought that we are undefeated. If these guys come in front of us on the battlefield, in only 3 days we can finish off all the Pandavas. That was his calculation. Shakuni told him that first day morning we are going to do this, first day afternoon we are going to kill Arjuna, and then they had everything jotted down. All the material plan was ready. So this happens to many of us. We have material calculations. Many of the people in the world, they have their own concocted philosophy. They think that, okay, by the age of 25, I will, study. By the age of 35, I want one child. Then, by the age of 50, I'll have $1 million. And by the age of 60, I will have 2-3 beach houses in Hawaii. And I'm going to retire very peacefully. And by the age of 80, 90, 100, I am going to be, sipping on my balcony. I'll be sipping a cup of coffee and I'll be looking at the beach and I will pass away without any pain. So that's the material plan they make. All the material plans. But Krishna knows what is the actual destiny. We may come up with all types of plans, but Krishna has his own plan. So Duryodhan and party, they had all the plans. When Krishna, that time he met Bhishma Dev, and Krishna was talking to Bhishma Dev that why are you still, taking the side with Kauravas? If you just come to Pandavas, if you only give the support to the Pandavas, only with that support, Duryodhana and company their motivation will be destroyed. Only when they know that Bhishma is going to stand on the opposite side to fight, that itself will completely destroy their all dreams. But Bhishma Dev says that I am bound by the vows that I have taken. I am bound by my dharma. And that's when Krishna says there is nothing like, my dharma, your dharma. Dharma should not bind someone. Krishna says that dharma really means that it frees the person from the bondage. Not that a person is bound because of dharma. Krishna says that even in that assembly you should have protected Draupadi. Because dharma actually is not stagnant. It's not that one should not lie, right? That's a dharma, that's a dharmic principle. But there is a story in Ramayana that one time there was a Brahmana who never lied in his life, and he was sure that I'm going to heaven because I never have lied in my life. And one time he saw that one family was running, and that family entered a room in fear, and then that family was being followed by thieves and dacoits, and those came in front of that Brahmana. They started to laugh. Ha ha ha, you are the person who has never lied. I know, we know who you are. So you are a Brahmana, you never lie. Tell us where that family went. And this Brahmana thought that I should not lie. That is the principle of dharma. How can I lie? So he told the truth. He told them that they are inside that room. And then, those thieves and rogues, they went and they killed them. And this story is there, and that Brahmana had to go in the hell. Even though that he followed the principle of dharma. So dharma is very subtle. Krishna gives a beautiful example to Bhishma. Please listen this carefully. What Krishna tells is, he says that the dharma of a guard is to guard and protect the door. Like we have some watchmen, right? They're supposed to make sure that right person enters the building. So the Dwarpal, or the person who is standing at the door, he may say, my dharma is to protect this door. But he cannot say the same thing when the building is on fire. When the building is on fire, his dharma changes from only protecting that door. He should go inside and he protect the people, try to get as many people out. So, one cannot say that I am only following this little, dharma within this boundary. Then it may not be true. So Krishna says that for the higher cause, one can compromise the lower principles. It is for the higher cause. Like the example that we were giving, like in my last class, that if sometimes, there is only choice between lesser violence and more violence, one has to choose the less violence. When there is a choice between violence and non-violence, then of course, all the devotees will choose the non-violence. But sometimes the life does not give that choice. Like that example, a woman who is pregnant, and if she ends up in some complication in the pregnancy, the doctor may say that we can save either the mother or the child. Now the mother may say that I have never even killed a mosquito in my life, I cannot kill the child. But the doctor says that otherwise you will die. So the family has to make a difficult decision. There is no choice. They have to make a decision. They have to either kill the child or let him, die, or the mother will die. And that means her other 2-3 grown-up children, they are going to be motherless. If the family lets the mother die, then 2-3 grown-up children are going to be motherless. The husband is going to lose the wife. The mother is going to lose her daughter. So many people are going to lose so many things. So there is always, dharma is very subtle. And that's why Krishna, he came, dharma samsthapanarthaya. That is the main objective of Krishna's appearance. Because Krishna did a lot of pastimes in Vrindavan. Krishna did, play with gopis, he played with cowherd boys, he stole butter, he did all types of mischievous pastimes, but only for 10 years, 11 years, he was in Vrindavan. As soon as he left Vrindavan, for the rest 115 years, he is doing dharma samsthapanarthaya. So that is like main objective of Krishna's appearance. And Vyasadeva, he mentions in Mahabharata many times that he came here to correct the dharma of the stagnant, dharma that became stagnant. And when this battle was going on the 9th day, Bhishma Dev was not killing the Pandavas, because the inner desire of Bhishma Dev is that he wants to see Yudhishthir as the king. But somehow he was bound to fight with the Kaurava side. But inside he always wanted to see Yudhishthir to become the next king. Krishna, knowing this fact, he was fighting with Bhishma. Like he was, making all the plans to fight against Bhishma. On the 9th day, what happened is, Duryodhana went very angrily in the tent of Bhishma. And he said that you are a partial person. You are not killing the Pandavas, because according to my statistical analysis, I had made so many charts and so many things. And we had a calculation that when you fight, you would have killed the Pandavas in first 3 days. The war should have been over. But today is the ninth day. Nothing has happened. Ninth day, and all the five Pandavas are standing right there unharmed. How is it possible unless you are protecting them? And Kshatriyas, naturally Kshatriyas, whenever they hear insulting words, naturally they start to, they feel very angry. So Bhishma, he made another vow. He said that I take a vow that tomorrow, I will kill all the five Pandavas. That is my vow. And he took 5 arrows from his quiver and he wrote the names of the Pandavas. He said, these 5 arrows will kill the 5 Pandavas tomorrow. And if you think that I am protecting the Pandavas, you keep these arrows and keep them very safe, and bring them tomorrow on the battlefield. And then I'll kill all the 5 Pandavas. Now Duryodhan became so happy that he took those 5 arrows and he slept with them. He didn't want to let go of them. And here Krishna came to know about the vow of Bhishma Dev. Now Bhishma Dev, whenever he vows, it comes true. Like everyone knows that Bhishma's vows are very powerful. Then Draupadi became very, she was very much in anxiety, thinking that what is going to happen tomorrow? Am I going to lose all my 5 husbands? What is going to happen? Krishna, please, you have to save us. Krishna was in anxiety. Krishna was walking to and fro, thinking, now what I'm going to do? How am I going to protect my dear most friend Arjuna? Now Krishna is taking anxiety, and Krishna was not able to sleep. He became sleepless. And, Krishna went in the tent of Arjuna. And that's when this very famous pastime, if you have heard, he saw that when Arjuna was breathing in, the sound was coming Krishna. And when he was breathing out, the sound was coming Krishna. So Krishna said, wake up, Parth. How can you sleep? Bhishma has taken such a vow that he is going to kill all the 5 of you. How can you sleep so peacefully? Arjuna said that I am very tired and we know you are there with us. So if you are with us, then who can ever harm us? So I know you are going to make some plan. But Krishna said, no, I only cannot make plan. You also have to, you have to reciprocate. You also have to take part. God and the living entity, they are co-workers. Like you cannot say that, oh, God is taking care. I'm going to take naps and Krishna will take care. That is not true. God definitely will give all that is needed. He will supply you all the things that are needed. But the living entity also has to endeavor. So that's why God's mercy and living entity's endeavor, both are very important. So Krishna said that get up and I'll tell you what to do. He says that, do you remember that time when you had saved Duryodhan from Gandharvas? That there was one time when Gandharvas had captured Duryodhana. And Yudhishthira had told Arjuna that go and save him. Because he is our brother. Anyway, for the inside matter, we may have clashes. Kauravas, Pandavas, we have so many fights. But for outsiders, we are 105. For inside, we may be 5 Pandavas and 100 Kauravas. But when there is, anyone attacking from outside, we have to be 105. So that's very important for all of us. Even within our community in ISKCON, there may be some, differences. There may be some clashes. There may be some type of arguments. What to do, what not to do, who does this, who does that. For outsiders, we must be all one. We are all Prabhupada Nugas. And for inside, we may have this and that. But when somebody from outside is there, we have to unite. So that is one very good lesson that I thought of. So that time Yudhishthira told Arjuna that you go and rescue him. So, Arjuna went and he rescued Duryodhana. And that time Duryodhana said that, okay, today you have helped me. So in the future, I will give you one boon. Whatever you want in the future, I'll give you one boon. Whatever, one benediction you want. So this future business is very risky. Because, even in Ramayana, Dasharath Maharaj said to Kaikeyi that you can ask two boons later. So if anyone asks you that, if anyone does anything to you, any favor to you, never ever say that you can ask anything in the future. You may land up in trouble. You should ask, ask it right now only. Because this is what happened. Krishna reminded Arjuna that time, there is one thing that you can ask from Duryodhana. So right now go in the tent of Duryodhana and bring those 5 arrows. Now here on the other side in his tent, Duryodhana is dreaming of tomorrow. He is dreaming how Bhishma is killing all the 5 Pandavas. And here Arjuna comes and Duryodhana is so much bewildered. How come this fellow is here? And then Arjuna says, hey, do you remember that time when I saved you from Gandharvas? Yes. So I am supposed to ask you one benediction. He says, now? Yes, what do you want? Then he says, give me those 5 arrows. He says, how do you know that I have these 5 arrows? Because the conversation happened between me and Bhishma. How is it possible that in this world a third person knows? Who told you that I have these 5 arrows? Then Arjuna says, of course, who else can tell me apart from Keshava? Krishna told me and I came here. So that time Duryodhana became so sad, and of course he is a Kshatriya, he has to keep his word. Very sad face. He went inside, he brought those 5 arrows, gave it to Arjuna, and Arjuna left. And that was the one and only time explained in Vyasakrit Mahabharat that Duryodhana felt maybe Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who resides in the heart of every living entity. So maybe he is God. So let me offer my obeisances to Krishna. So that is the only time it is explained in Vyasakrit Mahabharat that Duryodhana, he turned to the direction where Krishna is, Krishna's tent, and he bowed down. The only time he bowed down to Krishna. And the next day, as you know, Bhishma came to know the 5 arrows are not there. He asked Duryodhana, where are the 5 arrows? Krishna, Chaliya, he took away. He did all the different, all calculations have been destroyed now. And the next day, as you know, with the planning of Bhishma Dev and all the Pandavas, rather than, Pandavas being dead on that day, actually what happened is, these Pandavas somehow managed to invalidate Bhishma Dev. They brought Shikhandi in the front, who was born as a woman. So that's why, there is a different history of Shikhandi that we will see some other time. But that time, Bhishma Dev, he got rid of his weapons, because that was another vow that he would never ever lift weapon against a lady, against a woman. So he, he just did not fight. And that time, Arjuna sent all the arrows on the order of Krishna. Krishna said, now is the time. You should release many arrows in the direction of Bhishma. And that was the time how Bhishma Dev landed on the bed of arrows. But still he is holding on to his life air. He did not pass away. There was so much pain, as you can imagine. So many arrows are on your body, inside your body. You are laying on the arrows. How much painful that is going to be. But Bhishma Dev, he is still holding on to his life air just because he wants to see that these all rascals, Kauravas, punished. That's the only, dream that he had. Because naturally he had so much affection for Hastinapur and the throne. So he wanted to see Yudhishthir becoming the next king. And that's why in this today's purport we see Krishna knowing the innermost desire from the heart of Bhishma Dev. He said, you dress yourself in the most aristocratic way possible. Because Krishna knows the desire of his devotees. And Krishna takes the most pleasure in fulfilling the desires of his devotees. And that's why Krishna brought the Pandavas dressed as king. You know, Yudhishthir is looking like Kuber. Kubera is the treasurer of demigods, the most opulent demigod. So that's how Yudhishthir is looking like. And Bhishma Dev was pleased by Krishna in this fashion. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody has any question? Reference is Vyasadeva Mahabharat for all.
No, I just... From K.S. Ganguly, which is probably the most...
Who initiated K.S. Ganguly?
Pardon?
Who initiated K.S. Ganguly?
What's he saying? I don't know what you're saying.
Who initiated K.S. Ganguly? Which sampradaya he is from?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
know.
but he's a Sanskrit scholar, and his work was checked by three. But that doesn't answer my question. My question to you is:
Krishna Dharma Prabhu has translated Mahabharata for
he hasn't translated it. Okay, let's make that clear. What he did is he took someone else's translation and turned it into his own prose, which is called a retelling in his own words, not a translation. Okay, I want to make that clear. So, who is the translator from which you're quoting? That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Okay, so let's be specific. Like, which pastime do you want to know?
No, I want to know the translator of
which pastime?
Of all these pastimes.
Which line?
Huh?
Which line do you want? Because I took from many books. You tell me the pastime, I'll tell you the
this
reference.
is Mahabharata you took from, right?
Krishna Dharma Prabhu Mahabharat, and the pastime of Duryodhan sleeping with the arrows. That is from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. This same chapter, Prabhupada mentions this pastime in, I think, 31st verse.
Okay, Krishna Dharma's retelling of the Mahabharata. Now, who else's Mahabharata? Prabhupada did not write the Mahabharata.
Yeah,
okay?
that we know.
He used a Bengali translation from the Sanskrit.
Kamala Subramanyam, right?
Pardon?
Kamala Subramanyam, that's what Prabhupada took it from?
Who?
You said this Prabhupada took...
Yeah, Subramanyam is most of all fiction.
Yeah.
She made that up, most of it. She took some of it from the Mahabharata, and a good part of it is, and also it is a Mayavad translation. So I just wanted to know which one you used, because I wanted to be able to confirm some of the stories that you mentioned.
Yeah, so you tell me the story and I'll tell you the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's one Mahabharata. Okay, we're not talking about the Bhagavatam with this, a different one, and this one. We want for the benefit of the devotees to know where this has come from, so that if they wish to confirm the statements that Shyam Mukunda made, they can do that without any hesitation or doubt, and know that what has been said is true without a doubt. That's the purpose of my question, okay? And I have already mentioned that Krishna Dharmas is not a translation. It is a retelling from a translation, okay? And much of it is made up too. And I could point out the parts by just taking K.S. Ganguly's, which is a translation. And you can see the word. If you know Sanskrit, you can see how everything has been translated. And also he had 3 assistants who were all Sanskrit scholars who checked every word of his work before it was published.
Yeah. Case?
Pardon?
Instead of going down this road and talking about this, I think we should just stick to Srila Prabhupada's purport.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true.
No more Mahabharata here. Please stop. No more.
Okay.
Stick to the verse. Stick to the purport and only speak what you've read from Srila Prabhupada's books.
Yeah, so the pastime that I spoke about Duryodhana taking the arrows, that is in Prabhupada's the same chapter, which I think it's coming up in around 30, maybe 25, 30 verse. Somewhere there is a verse in the purport where Prabhupada mentions that this pastime of Bhishma taking the vow and, these 5 arrows and all. So that is from Prabhupada's book. And this same chapter, Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. Yeah, yeah.
So I would say stick to whatever Srila Prabhupada said, please.
Yeah,
And-
that's why, Prabhu, I was mentioning that if there is a specific pastime, there is a specific sentence that you tell me, then I'll tell you the reference.
Yeah, but
because
it doesn't matter because it'll just mix people up anyway. Someone sitting in the audience, they're not going to know what to ask you, where it came from, each specific particular pastime. I would say if someone wants to read the Mahabharata on their own, do so. Just read the Mahabharata if you want to read that and get some information, some knowledge or understanding. But let's just read the purport that Srila Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavatam. Let's speak on that particular point, and then we can avoid all these things. If you read the Mahabharata, keep it to yourself, or talk with your friends and devotees. But please do not bring this here in the temple room during Bhagavatam class. That's this point onwards. Yes. Yes. Stay on the Bhagavatam, the current Bhagavatam. Prabhupada's purport. No more stories here. From this point on. Finished. That's right. If it's a lecture, if it's a talk that Prabhupada gave, fine. If it's from Prabhupada.
So, yeah, if we want to take any pastime from Mahabharata, we take only what Prabhupada told, right? That's why. Yeah, that's the best way. Because even K.S. Ganguly, he's not from any sampradaya. We cannot trust him. Because Prabhupada said, anything that comes from sampradaya is authorized. Not the scholar, because we have so many scholars, they speak things as they want. So that's why. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.